watching another video. Today we're continuing to take a look at the Alternative Future of the World, Part 16. Four more episodes and then the series is done. But in the last episode, we saw Romania invade the Russian Empire and somehow win. Totally not like they used all their troops in that, and now they're weak. They're not weak. And we also saw them create the Order Security Alliance, which Serbia, France and Slovakia joined. As you can see, Hungary was also invaded. And not really much else happened. Austria and Germany united. And nothing else really. So we're going to have to talk about every alliance. So we have the Allies, which is contained of India, Morocco, Germany, Portugal and the UK. It's really weak. The UK and India are like the only strong countries. We have the Order of Security, which has Romania, Slovakia, Serbia, Crimea and France. And then we have the World Order, which is absolutely massive and strong. They would stomp every alliance, no matter what. I mean, look at this. They have Iran, Russia, China, the three strongest countries in North America, Brazil, Argentina, Egypt, South Africa, and all the Middle East. Now, they have lost a lot. They had Ethiopia, Nigeria, Niger. I think they had Siam as well, Ethiopia. And we'll get to them in a minute. But firstly, we're going to come down here to Romania, where they are doing some stuff. Nobody knows what, obviously, but it's become clear that Romania is going to keep expanding no matter what. Romania is one of those countries that likes to expand a lot. Well, with their government right now, obviously not in real life. But we have Romania declaring war on Bulgaria. Now, Bulgaria has kind of been trying to just be neutral. But obviously, right now, they're being invaded, so you can't be neutral if you're being invaded. Poland and Czechia are both trying that as well. It's working for the most part. But we might see in the future that, we might see soon that Romania is going to probably do some stuff. But this might actually be Romania's last expansion. Like, if you think of it, they won't be able to expand much where else. Greece might be a bit too no, actually. But, Bulgaria... No, I just said Bulgarian. Romanian troops are going to be exiting out from their entire border, as they are going to just slaughter anything they see in their way. They bomb the Bulgarian coast like it's the Royal Navy or something in the English Channel in World War II. And Sofia is on the brink of being captured. And well, it becomes obvious that that city's now under siege. That city's now under captured, and Bulgaria surrenders. I don't know what I just said, and it didn't make any sense. Anyway, let's take a look at this future. And Bulgaria is part of Romania. At this point, Romania is the Romanian Empire, so yep. Looks like Romania is expanding quite rapidly. And now we have Albania being very scared. You're now bored of Romania. And Albania is going to make a pretty interesting choice here and join the Allies. I'm not actually too sure if it is interesting. Serbia would most likely invade them. But once again, Romania is at a standstill. They're kind of stuck on invasion now. Albania just joined the Allies. Croatia, that would be horrendous. Greece, go after that if you want. Poland, yeah, I guess. But Poland's on the brink of joining the Allies. France, they're planning on something. We'll get to that after we get to the next issue. Italy, neutral. Everyone else in the world, neutral. And then the alliances, not neutral. But now the world order is experiencing some issues. Especially because they are a massive alliance and it acts as one country. I already said this. It's going to have a civil war. And it's not going to be a pretty one. So let's just take a look at it. So, taking a look at the Civil War, it is a major one. When you look at it, you think, oh, it's not that bad. But when you really think of it, this is a pretty major civil war. I mean, we have some of the leaders of the world order on these sides, like China, South Africa, and Brazil, for example. Obviously, Russia, Iran, and the USA, they're not going to be on different sides. There's no chance of that. But why is there a civil war? Russia and China got into an argument about who would be the leader of the world order. And then the USA got involved, and then for some reason the Middle East just tried to rebel. Kurdistan and Arabia were like, nope. Well, it makes sense for Arabia, but Kurdistan maybe not. Kurdistan just said nope. Xinjiang's like, wait, what about us? Iran joined, Egypt joined, South Africa just decided nope. It was seen. In all reality, it was actually expected that this alliance was going to crumble. And we're going to begin in probably the most interesting area, Africa. Now, South Africa and Egypt are the major powers in this area. They control basically the whole continent, and whoever wins this battle will probably be the winner. Like, the dominant power of this entire continent. And South Africa makes the first move, as it looks like they were ready for this for some reason. South Africa plans to knock Egypt out the war as fast as possible, as they don't exactly want to have to deal with this anymore. They push up into Cameroon, which is actually a pretty new area occupied by Egypt. Oh my god! Why does Ibis Pain have to do that? Honestly. It's not looking good for Egypt, as South African troops are slamming right through the country. Realise Egypt is kind of at a disadvantage here, because their more important areas are up here. Now we're going to be coming over to China, the other most interesting part. They may be the economic power of this alliance, but, yeah, they're not the military power. That's gonna go to Russia and, the USA, and maybe Egypt. We have Xinjiang somehow invading the Tibetan Plateau. I think this is where it's located. In all reality, Xinjiang is mostly just invading nothing until they get down to the Himalayas, which they say nope to invading. Xinjiang is mostly just invading China because they want land. They're doing this because, you know. Well, the main fun is going to be Russia, and China is going to start to say, we do not like this, as Russia's just, their army is massive. I'm not even joking. So, while Russia is absolutely blaming China, we have them being able to take over basically all of Manchuria. They take over all of Manchuria except for some parts which is being protected by the Chinese. Somehow. It's clear that China is not as powerful as the world thought they were. As Russia is just kind of sweeping through. And China's gonna start doing something interesting. they're gonna start doing some stuff in Beijing, and the stuff is sending they're basically just sending not millions, but thousands of bombs into Russian territory. They're sending thousands upon thousands, to probably hundreds of thousands. And this is making the Russians very angry. So, you want to see something? There's a little green dot on Beijing. Yeah, Russia just nuked China. Now this is taking it to nuclear war right now, and obviously the world is not ready for nuclear war, because nukes by now are probably way stronger than what they are in modern time. I think there is probably a nuke stronger than TARS at this point. But this is probably gonna spell China's defeat, as this was a nuke, not anything, you know, not regular bomb. This was a nuke. So the Russians are gonna make a push here to capture Beijing when the radiation's still there, and if it's obvious, this goes very well. At this point, China's dead as the radiation is spreading through, so China ends up surrendering. And that's just going to leave some other fronts to deal with now. With China out of the war, it's not really, it's basically over. Kurdistan and Arabia. Kurdistan is absolutely, they just get killed. Arabia tries to hold their own ground, but it's shown that Iran and Egypt do not like that. I guess Turkey as well, but they're kind of the wild card, I guess. Arabia's killed, and, well, South Africa is kind of... South Africa is starting to stop with the invasion up here, which, they have done very well. Egyptian troops and Sudanese and Chadinese... It's not Chadinese, it's probably Chadians, are finally arriving, and this is going to be stopped. Although South Africa is still doing their best to invade. And, best to invade, South America is, it's pretty much over, all over here. Venezuela, they just pop. They pop like they are in real life. They're a balloon. Yeah, Venezuela pops. They couldn't even get an army together. Let alone even get the government together. And Argentina and Brazil are gonna come to agreement that no side is gonna really win here. We have Brazil just sneaking down and capturing Buenos Aires, and Argentina just says, you know what, we're not gonna win, so they just surrender to Brazil. And at this point, it's pretty obvious, it's pretty obvious now. There's really only two blue member teammates left, and that's South Africa and Brazil. Brazil's navy torn off the USA. Well, army at best. The Egyptian front is going nowhere. Although, South Africa is making gains very slowly. This was when Argentina was surrendering, as well as Brazil and China, I think. So it's a very painful war for South Africa to fight. But finally decides to come to a peace treaty, which will look something like. So, yep, it looks like a massive peace treaty. So let's just begin with South America. Brazil took over a good chunk of northern Argentina, if I can get the colour. They took over I just colored in Brazil. I forgot I was on the bucket because I was doing something. So if it isn't obvious, all this area here, that was owned by Argentina, and for some reason Uruguay was given land. But the most notable one was Chile being released. Brazil did this for, I don't know, a reason. And now Brazil is definitely the dominant country. Argentina is really weak. Come over to Africa. South Africa gained land around here, which was, if I can remember, Car? But this does basically mean that South Africa is the almighty power of Africa at this point. Now comes the scary part. Xinjiang was given, I think they looked around like this before, so they were given all that land. And the most interesting, Tibet was released. And then the peace treaty, Xinjiang was just going to annex all of Tibet. But this part of Tibet was very heavily against Xinjiang rule, so Russia and Xinjiang kind of came to the agreement that Tibet will be released, although they will still have land taken away from them, which would be this. And now China. China lost basically all of its land, a good chunk of its good important land. Russia expanded into Manchuria and is now very close to Beijing. They were already quite close, but now they're very close. They took over a lot of land from the Mongolian part, and Russia at this point is becoming stronger and stronger, and there's nobody to really stop them. Iran gained land, as well as Egypt and Turkey, and for some reason Arabia. Arabia expanded as the remaining land of Kurdistan that was taken over. Well, okay. What happened was Turkey, Iran, and Egypt split up Kurdistan with what they wanted, but then there was some left. They realised Arabia was still really in the alliance, so they just decided to give the rest to Arabia. And at this point, the world order has lost almost all of its power. Not all of it, but they lost China, the biggest economic part, Brazil, and South Africa. And there are some countries that decide that being in this alliance may not be the best of their interest. One of them being Argentina, who just thinks that this alliance sucks. So Argentina is just going to kind of dip. Argentina says that this alliance has nothing to do with them anymore, as well, they're going to focus on protecting themselves. But everyone else is pretty stable in the alliance, except for maybe the USA. And now we come over to Europe. Remember what I was saying about France? They were doing something. Well, that something is, that something is a war declaration. And this war declaration is gonna be on, Italy. By the very surprising option, as Italy is the strongest neighbour. So, Italy's preparing its army. France is already ready. France is most likely one of the stronger countries in Europe, just because... Well, Italy's ready for anything at this point. Not really. Italy saw around Iberia. They're most likely going to get destroyed. The French army is ready to invade, and it's not going to be pretty friendly. Now, just saying that France is a very mountainous country, and Italy is a very mountainous country. So we have France taking over the more mountainous parts, I'd say. Now they sneak down the coast during naval invasions from Corsica. Also, speaking of naval invasions, they just made landing on Sardinia and took over that entire island. And it's shown that Italy may not be ready for a French invasion because they're getting slapped. We have France making a counter-offensive to capture Venice, which cuts off a part of Italy. France quickly takes over the coast of this part of Italy, which it just kind of leads to France taking it over. France continues to push down Italy until they meet Rome, which they capture just like they did with Madrid. And at this point, Italy is crumbling. Italy is starting to crumble. Sicily is captured, and Italy now is begging for peace with France, which France is going to accept because they have lost a lot of resources doing an invasion of Italy. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. In the peace treaty, France just annexes all basically northern part of Italy, and the rest of Italy is left to rot. Kind of sad, but France just did it. And it's shown that France's goal is to take over all of the Napoleonic lands, except for Switzerland. And they're doing pretty well. They have an issue, and that's the fact that Germany has got some land they need, which would be interesting if France tried to invade Germany. France would definitely lose against the Allies. I'm saying it from now. Speaking of the Allies, they're going to gain themselves a new member. I'm pretty sure you guys expected this, but Japan is going to join the Allies. Japan is still probably one of the strongest countries in the world at this point. That's just because Japan, I think they've only been invaded once successfully in this entire series. That's when obviously the Russian Empire invaded, and then China and the USA came steamrolling in. At this point, Russia's kind of thinking that the Allies are expanding too much. But they can't do anything. They don't do anything about it yet, because it's very small what they are expanding. Other countries that want to join is Ireland, Belgium, Luxembourg, Iberia, which is on the brink of having a civil war right now because of how weak they are. Andalusia and Galicia want to rebel and create their own countries. And then at that point, Iberia would be super dead. Iceland, I mean, in all reality, Iceland's not changed this entire series.
Got silver.